Hey, what do you mean we have a contest? You can't just say stuff and leave my office. Ugh. Well, I guess before we get started, I should tell you guys that we have a new contest going. We want to get the funniest fan art that we can. Having said that, we want to make it as accessible for everybody as possible. So instead of your normal fan art, show us what you got, awesomeness, we want not just that. If you're good at that, please do that because there's a part for you as well because we're going to pick 2 winners. But we want a stick figure representation of the funniest thing you've heard on our show so far. That's right. Bros and Dragons podcast from episode 1, season 1 to the latest episode that's come out, which would be episode 41, or even any of the outer characters. We want you to give us a visualization using stick figures, or if you're good at it, drawings of the funniest thing. We're looking for laughter and humor here, people. So it's very simple. If it makes us laugh, it wins. There's going to be 2 winners. We're putting one of our t-shirts and one of our dice bags up for the winners. The first winner will be the person with the stick figure drawing that made us laugh the hardest. They'll be able to choose between the t-shirt or the dice bag. And our second winner will be the one that is the best drawing out of all of them. That person will be able to choose the other one that the first person didn't choose. Super simple. Just put it up on any social media using hashtag Bros and Dragons, all one word, or send it to us via email at brosanddragons@gmail.com. The contest will end November 30th, which we will pick the winner at that point. And we will announce them on our social media December 1st. Again, good luck, and may the odds never be in your Wait, I'm saying that wrong. Does that mean they die? I don't want people to die. Don't do this to me. Wait, what? Hello, I'm Daniel Doc Gentry. Welcome to the world of Enin. I am its creator and your narrator. Sit back and relax as I take you out of your reality and into my nightmare's dream world. Welcome to the Bros and Dragons podcast. Today, we will be following the adventures of
Keith Ross. I play Captain Martin Firewell, a human male barbarian.
John Cejka, and I play Alissha Fargum, a female human rogue.
Tom Benson. I play Zandro, a male wood elf ranger.
Let us adventure on. Martin and Zandro just finished their fight. They hear this crash. As you guys look towards the forest line after hearing this crashing sound, you see almost a tidal wave come up and over the trees and into the woods. It doesn't come all the way out to the road, but you definitely see the water crest. When you do, that's when you guys run through the woods, and as you look, you see Crystaldale as it's balancing out. The water's coming off of it, but unlike last time, it doesn't stay submerged in the water. The land itself seems to be above the water line. It's hard to tell how far because it's in the middle of this lake.
Yeah, I guess we'll start hoofing it back over to the castle. Initially looking for Rebecca.
Let's head back to the castle and see who we can find.
So you run back to your horses on time, and then you take the horses and you kick off. And you start heading back towards the capital city.
I was still shocked at the fact that Adam is alive and talking to me, and decided at that point when he said he couldn't fix this, I just braced for impact.
Martin and Zandro, after about an hour or so of riding your horses hard, you come around the crest and you can see the wall. You're riding up to the wall, and it looks like they have still every archer, all these wizards, everybody's posted at the wall that you left at the wall when you took off.
It's us! It's us! Nobody's following us.
They quickly start putting away their weapons. You see the gate starting to crack, but you're not going to ride your horse in this time, Martin. It's definitely going to take a while to get that door open.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll dismount and jump off and run through the gate as it's opening and head toward the dock area.
I'll follow.
Okay, so you guys ride hard in. You're coming up to the door. It's not opening fast enough, so you both dismount and you run into the crack and work your way in. And as you take off, one of the soldiers will grab the reins of your horses and you guys run towards the docks. You get to the docks and majority of the army is here and everybody looks confused, looking around. They don't know what's going on.
Do we see Queen Rebecca?
You do not.
Where's Queen Rebecca?
You shake him. He's looking at this weather control orb. He was actually talking to himself, and as you came up, he goes, "What? She's not here? She was here like just a moment ago."
Was this place hit by the tidal wave type thing?
Hard to tell. It doesn't look like it.
I'll just leave him. Just take off running away from him and head toward the wizard's tower.
Do you want me to help, or do you want me to continue working this thing?
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Frustrating. And he sits down and he starts going back to what he was doing as you take off running. You both head over to the teleporter room, and as you get to the teleporter room, you realize that the teleporter's still off. There is now a wizard there trying to see what he can do to make it work, but the actual teleport itself is not working.
Have you seen Queen Rebecca?
I have not.
Fuck! Take off running again. The throne room.
You head up the throne. Zandro, are you really just playing follow the leader with this?
No, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to just let him run. I'm going to ask the guy working on the teleporter, how much longer?
There's no reason this shouldn't be working. We need to do something on the other side to get this to work. I can't figure it out. It shouldn't have shut down in the first place.
So you need someone on the other side to do something.
Yeah, no, we need to get a wizard over there so that we can get this thing working again. The teleporter takes two sides, but this one, it doesn't make sense that it's shut down.
Who do I take with me?
And any of the wizards should do. This is a simple enough spell.
I will head.
I figure you're going to go towards the gate because you know the road's clear. You see these guys still. Everybody's set up for defense. Nobody's moved. You know, they've been given an order that all these demons were about to come down on them, and they're now, manning the wall, and they're doing the same thing at the port. You walk up on the wall, and sure enough, you find the wizards mixed in with the archers.
We're going to try and get to Crystaldale and see if we can't get this teleporter working.
What about these demons?
I don't know where they took off to.
What do you mean there's no demon? You guys came here hours ago telling us that the entire big legion of demons was coming.
Yeah, they turned off and went another direction.
One of the younger female wizards will come forward and say, I'll go with you. Do you know how to get there?
Well, I'm hoping you can figure out how to fix the teleport.
Well, how do we get to Crystaldale?
Get on the horses, go out the front gate, and head towards the water's edge.
Okay. She'll take the other horse. Understanding that's what you mean as you just jump on your horse and ride off. She follows you out into the woods. I see you guys. You get to the edge of the water, and she goes, okay, now what?
Is the water still black?
It seems to be clear. The fogginess doesn't seem to be in the water.
Just stick my hand in it really quick and see if anything happens.
So you brace yourself as you go to touch the water. And as you're tensing up, you put your finger in the water and you pull it out real quick. Nothing happens. Martin, you run up the stairs and you come up to the castle edge. And the guards see you coming. They start opening the doors for you. And they're like, what's going on?
Where's the queen?
What do you mean, where's the queen? She followed you. Something about mustering.
Oh, you fucks!
What?
Turn around, run back. As I do the turnaround and start heading back, I'm like, fuck. I'll turn back around to the guards and then say, look, a lot of shit's happened. I'm sure you saw Crystaldale fall. I can't find Queen Rebecca. She was at the docks. She's not at the tower. She's not at the teleporter. She's not here. Where would she be?
They're looking at you like entrances in and out of the castle that we don't know about, but the most direct route from the port to here is straight down the stairs here.
And you didn't see her come in?
We have not seen the queen approach the castle. Ugh. Alissha finds herself in what seems like an absolute white void. All she remembers is hearing the crashing, thunderous, almost tornado-like sound of Crystaldale smashing the water. And now it's almost utter silence. And you look around and you see Adam to your left, floating in the space, seeming unconscious, and Queen Rebecca to your right.
I am going to swim, fly, walk, however I'm floating to get to him. I'm going to go to Queen Rebecca first.
So you try doing different things, but you notice that just willing yourself to move, it seems like you could walk over to Queen Rebecca. And you grab her shoulder to turn her over, and she floats easily around. Her hair flows behind her as she does. Her clothing, like there's gravity underneath her, but she is unconscious.
I'm going to attempt to wake her up.
So you grab her by the shoulder, you say, Queen Rebecca, Rebecca! And you yell and scream, and you try shaking, and it doesn't seem like anything's doing anything.
I am going to head then over to Adam and see if I can't wake him up.
Yeah, they're not that far apart, but you go over there, fearing the worst, you try to wake up Adam, and he doesn't either. But they are both breathing.
I'm going to take a sip out of my water skin and try to come to my senses and attempt to figure out what's going on. While I'm at it, I'm going to pour a little water over Adam's face, see if that helps.
So you take a sip and you're sitting there like looking around. Maybe your eyesight's messed up. You're waiting for things to refocus. Nothing happens. You take another sip of your water skin and you pour some onto Adam's face, and all it does is make his face wet.
So I know you said I'm in a white void, but do I notice anything that's not just a white void, like shadows or anything other than Queen Rebecca and Adam?
You look around, you're looking down, you're trying to figure out if there's shadows. It's very bright in here, but it doesn't look like there's a light source coming from anywhere. And you're startled as someone taps on your shoulder. As you jump around, there's a black cloaked figure standing there. Large scythe in one hand. Skeleton fingers coming out of the sleeves.
Oh, great. I'm dead.
The cloaked figure shakes his head.
I'm in purgatory?
Again, it shakes its head back and forth.
Any idea what's going on?
The figure takes the scythe and puts it on his shoulders. You see his hands disappear into his cowl as he pulls back the hood of his cowl. And before you, Zandro, you're on the water's edge with the wizard.
I'm going to turn to the wizard. Do you have any way to get us over there?
I mean, I could use some spells, but I'll be useless if anything's going on over there once we get there.
Say, well, we have to get over there to try and fix the teleport.
She says, all right, puts her hand on your shoulder, and she starts walking. And as she does, she's walking on top of the water. And then she picks up pace, and now she's sprinting.
I'll sprint too.
You two start sprinting across the water towards Crystaldale.
Great.
And as you're running, we see Martin running. Just runs a little bit, looks around with his hands up, runs a little bit with his hands up.
As I'm running, I'm asking everyone that looks like they might know where the queen is or if they've seen her.
And everybody, I thought I saw her down by the docks. Oh, she must be with the soldiers at the wall.
Fine. I'll head back down to the docks.
Okay. You make it back down to the docks. And again, the army is looking out. They don't know what to do. They haven't dispersed, though.
Is the old wizard still there?
Yeah, he's fiddling around with that sphere.
Look, I'm sorry to bother you again. I can't find the queen anywhere. I checked the teleporter. I checked the throne room. Nobody's seen her. I need to get to Crystaldale. Is there a way you can get me across the water?
What?
Oh, I thought you wizards were supposed to be smart. Can you get me across the water to Crystaldale? Last time, Adam made it so I could walk on water. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. Let me just put this weather control orb away and not worry about that, I guess.
Okay, I could do with a little less attitude, okay? Did you not see the giant fucking city that just fell?
No, wait,
I get
what?
it. I get it.
And he looks out there, he's like, whoa, when did that happen? He grabs you by the shoulder and he says, all right, you can walk on water now.
Okay, I'll take off, jump off the dock, start heading toward Crystaldale.
Okay. So you just start running. You could see two figures running to your right off the land, too. You see Zandro and a wizard running on water.
Dash as fast as I can go.
As he pulls back the cowl, Alissha, before you is a younger elf male who looks at you and you look at him. And it seems oddly familiar, but you just can't place it. And he says, Alissha Fargum, it's time for us to meet once again. You're not supposed to be here yet, but doesn't that seem to be the way we always meet?
I didn't think I was, but apparently when the city falls and you're with it, it just kind of happens.
All right, Alissha, got some good news and bad news. What do you want first? Now he's got his shoulder, or his hand around your shoulder, and he's walking with you very slowly.
Let's go with the bad news. I'd like to end on a good note.
All right, well, the bad news, he turns you around, and now you're good 10, 15 paces away from both Adam and Queen Rebecca. And he says, I'm here for one of these two. You need to decide which one. On one hand, you have Adam, who probably has the power to shake the earth, to save everybody, to put Crystaldale back in the air. If you could tap into that raw essence, destroy the demon army, and possibly save Enin. On the other hand, Queen Rebecca, who is a leader to her people, who leads from the front in the fight, who's the morale, the center point for everything that gives hope to Enin.
Well, what the hell? Why'd I gotta make these tough calls? I don't much care for Adam, though.
Yeah. But there's good news. You know how that works, right? Like when I tell you that there's both.
What's the good news?
The good news is either way, you don't die today.
Well, I guess that is good news. I mean, I was not prepared to die today.
Right?
So, I mean, it's looking up. It is looking up. Oh, boy. This is a tough call.
Right?
What would you do in my position?
I already made my choice a long time ago. Zandro, as you're running across the lake with this wizard, you look over and with your elven eyes squinting ever so hard, you can see Martin Wildstorm running by himself across the water.
Does it look like we're both going to get to about the same place?
Yep, you're getting there, and you're getting there very fast. In fact, after a couple moments, you're getting closer and closer and closer, not just to Martin, but to Crystaldale as well.
I'll keep heading in the direction that I'm running.
And all three of you end up on the shore or near the shore, and you look up, and 8 feet above you is Crystaldale.
I remember what's in these waters. I'm scrambling, trying to get up.
Scrambling. You end up pulling yourself up onto the ledge. You look around the water, and it looks clear.
I'll bend down, hold out my hand for Zandro as well as the wizard that is with him to try and help them up.
Yeah, I think you could do this no problem. One at a time, you pull them up onto the land, and you look around, and everything looks kind of dry. The magic looks like it's drained from this place.
Start making my way through the city looking for Alissha or Queen Rebecca.
Zandro, Martin helps you up on the land after very frantically scurrying up the side of this thing. And as soon as you and your new wizard friend come up, he just takes off.
I'm going for the teleporter.
Okay, look for Alissha on the way.
Alissha, the elf says again, so this one's your choice.
I am going to get down on my knees and pray to see if I can get any information from my god.
So you start to pray, and it is the first time in as long as you can remember. Not only do you hear anything from your god, but it's almost like the voice that voice that we have in our heads. Yours isn't there either.
Alissha sighs and goes, well, now I know why I don't pray. Whatever happened to a little voice that was supposed to help me? You know, that thing. What did they call it? Something with a C.
Yeah, the elf
conscience.
The elf starts.
Where was that?
The elf starts laughing, and he's like, "No, I think you're missing the point here. You need to choose. There's no other way."
You know, as much as I like the queen, I'm sure there's somebody that can take her place. I'm gonna have to go with Adam. I'm hoping he will be able to rectify this situation and get Crystaldale back to where it should be.
And the elf goes, "Oh, I understand your reasoning, but you're not done."
What else do I got?
Well, I can't take a live body. It's not how this works.
Oh, fuck. I hope nobody can see this. And Alicia's going to walk up and slit Rebecca's throat. So
you walk up and you put your knife around Rebecca's throat. The body shifts and the eyes are open. And you're eye to eye with the queen. Nothing else happens besides this. You try to turn her around so that you could slice her throat, and she seems to continue to have eye contact. And behind you hear a voice say, "Oh, yeah, one more catch. Yeah, you need to let them know you're doing it."
What the fuck? You know, Death, you are one twisted son of a bitch. I just want to point that out.
I get blamed for everything. I'm just here to guide you through this. I'm not doing this.
How come all the other ones just let me kill him? God, so hard. That's why I don't practice religion much. Rebecca, I'm sorry. I hope you can understand, but this is something I have to do for the greater good of the kingdom. I'll see you on the other side. And I attempt to slash her throat again.
And this time you carve into her throat. You feel the blood running down your hand. You see in her eyes a look of disappointment, fear, peace as the life force drains from her body. And then in an instant, you're standing right behind. So Martin, when you started running, where were you heading?
Well, Zandro said he was going to the teleporters. I think I would head to the area where you have the temple on one side and the keep on the other side, so just right there in the middle.
You're running, but you could swear that you heard Alissha say your name behind you.
I slide to a stop, turn around, and look.
As you turn around and look, you see Adam laying down on the ground at Alicia's feet, and Alissha cradling the bloody body of Queen Rebecca.
What the fuck? I take off running. and then like drop down on my knees beside them, and I'm casting Spare the Dying on Queen Rebecca.
You run down and you cast it. You see the light come out, but it seems to just get absorbed into the air as it's coming out. Everything that you're trying to do to help, nothing seems to be working.
Martin, it's too late. It's not going to work. She's gone.
What do you mean it's too... How did she even get here? She was with me.
I have no idea. I woke up to her like this.
I keep trying to cast Spare the Dying.
You keep casting and none of it works, but Alissha, you feel that you need to take the queen's body to the keep.
I'm going to have to take her to the keep. I'm going to pick her up, and I'm going to start walking towards the keep.
Is this a somber moment for you? Are you slowly walking towards the keep? Are you...
Oh, yeah. For once in her life, she's sad. She's hurt. She's not herself, but she's trying to play it off like, hey, I'm good. Shit happens. Kind of a thing, trying to put back on her regular persona. But, yeah, it's hard. I wouldn't say it's her normal pace, but I wouldn't say it's an extremely slow pace. It's like right in between because, again, she's trying to play it off.
Martin, Adam's still on the ground, but you see Alissha pick up the queen's body and start walking towards the keep.
There's kind of like a moment there where I'm just on my knees in the middle of the street, kind of just taking everything in, just taking like a second to think. And then I look over at Adam, I crawl over.
You crawl over, you turn his head to see if he's breathing. He coughs a little bit, and without opening his eyes, he goes, "You know, I hate you, Martin."
I know, I hate you too.
He opens his eyes and a little dazed, a little confused, looking around.
Are you okay?
I remember being in eternity and then being in the throne room. I remember everything going down super fast. I remember being around Alissha, and then I remember feeling weightless and in a bright space, and then I woke up here, and I felt you before I saw you. My powers were gone originally. I tried to fix the sight stone, but nothing was working. But I'm weird, but I think I'm okay.
Okay, we'll work through that later. Can you walk?
He stands up and says, "Yeah, I think so." And he uses, your shoulder a little bit to help prop himself up, but he gets up and he starts walking. He goes, "Yeah, I don't seem to be too dizzy."
And I'll holler out, "Alissha, wait!"
Zandro, you and the wizard end up at the teleporter room, and the wizard starts going to work, trying to do what she does on her end, and she turns to you, like stops, a realization on her face, and she says, I don't think it's going to work. I know that Thompson on the other side is doing his part. This is impossible, as she looks you straight in the eyes and says, "But I think all the magic's gone here."
What's your name?
My name is Melinda.
Melinda, we can't say it can't be done. You say the magic is gone. Do you feel any sense of any magic here?
That's what I'm saying. My magic's not working.
I'm going to turn around and cast Spike Growth just outside the door.
You use the same Semitic components you've always done, and you flash your hand out, and this time it just doesn't work. I've heard of anti-magic fields before, but this, again, there's nothing here. She's looking around into the sky, on the walls, trying to figure it out. She's like, what's happening here is impossible.
I look around. There's got to be something here. Is there any building that's like dead center of the town?
Dead center is like a big open courtyard, and then it stays wide going northbound in the city, and about a quarter mile down is the keep will be on the left, the Temple of Zandro will be on the right. But as a building, no, there is one tower. Not even a tower. It's more like an obelisk that's in the middle of this place that's in the center.
If they were trying to stop magic in this city, they'd put it in the center of the city and see if we find anything out of the ordinary.
She says, "Let's go." And she starts running that way, and she reaches for your hand and tries to pull you along.
I take off running with her.
Martin and Alissha, you are coming up to the keep. The door is open, and you enter in. And in the room where the throne is, the sight stone sits there, and it seems to be attempting to glow. It gets a little brighter, but then it fades off into a gray. It gets a little brighter, it fades off into a gray. Alissha, you start heading straight to the sight stone.
Alissha, wait! Where are you going?
I don't know. I'm just going where it takes me.
Can I do an insight check on her?
I mean, you don't need to make the roll. You think she's possessed, but you recognize this level of defeat. You've been through this level of defeat before. Now she's just running on autopilot, and something's telling her to go to the Sightstone. I think there's something different about this time. You do think of all those other times, but you also think, man, when it came to Fidget, he kind of was right. You'd probably have a more powerful ally on your side. And from her explanation, it didn't seem like she was being disrespectful. As a sailor, you know most people just want to be tossed into the sea to live. It's tradition for you guys to do that because you believe that you become part of the sea then. Whatever it is, whatever's on autopilot, it seems to be guiding her, but not controlling her.
Okay, I'm just going to keep a close watch, and if as soon as anything happens or she tries to do something that I don't like, essentially, or that I don't see as something that would fit this circumstance, I'm going to step in.
Alissha, you reach where the throne area is. Zandro, you and Melinda come running down the street, and you don't see anybody out. But you are in the center of town now, and you see this obelisk before you. You start looking it over. You don't feel any power coming from it, but you're not sure if you're just cut off from all magical energies or not. You realize that the craftsmanship behind this is incredible, but while you look at it, you can really see where magic wasn't even used to make this. You could see where the stonemason's tools are cutting the stone and how everything was set and perfectly level. This looks like it was built as part of this whole structure. It looks like the stonework around it actually comes away from the obelisk, like it was all designed to be together. And looking it over, it doesn't seem like there's a way in and out. This is more of an artistic structure than it did anything really.
I don't see anything that makes this look like it is stopping magic. But there's got to be something around here that's stopping the magic.
She says, I don't know a lot about how things work, but the other wizards told me that the Sightstone was what gave magic to the city. Where was that? I wasn't paying attention when they were talking about it at the time. I thought I would have time to study it later.
I just grab her arm and go, this way, and take off running that direction.
And she starts running with you as well. Alissha, you get near the throne, but you don't go anywhere near the throne. You go towards the Sightstone, and you sit your queen down, and you feel like you need to gather up her blood in your hand and pour it over the Sightstone.
I am going to gather up as much of her blood as I can. You
get down and you start cupping your hands to catch the blood in that. And Martin, you see this.
Just kind of watching, not saying anything.
At least you pick up this blood in your hand, and it's dripping a little bit on the bottom, but you seem to have it really well. And you place it over the Sightstone, and you release it. And there's a bright flash. A very loud voice says, "The sacrifice is sufficient." And you feel a blast of power as everybody gets knocked to the ground, including Melinda and Zandro outside, heading towards the keep. And as it does, it seems like power magic just starts flowing and everything. Zandro, you feel it again in you. Martin, you start feeling this power as well, as it's invigorated by magic around you. And you feel like you're moving a little bit, but it's all hard to tell as you're laying here now on the ground in the keep, blown to the ground. And Melinda stands up and she goes, what was that? I feel, and she opens up her hands, and this huge fire seems to blaze forward out of her hands, and she closes it again, and she goes, I think I could do it now. And she turns and starts running towards the teleporter room.
Now! And I turn and run back towards the teleporter room.
Alissha and Martin, you're here now. The queen's body is laying on the floor of the Sightstone. You heard this voice as you both getting up off the ground.
Alissha? What happened?
I don't know. The three of us were... One, I don't know how she even got here. Last I know, she was at the docks. But when the city fell, all I remember is crashing into the water and waking up in just white. It was very peaceful. And death came up. And I don't know what fully happened, but Rebecca decided that she was going to sacrifice herself to save Adam and I, and hopefully she really wanted to get the portal back up and Crystaldale back up and save her people.
Did she say anything?
She said she was sorry she couldn't save the city and be here for it.
I turn to Adam. I hope you're worth it. And I walk out.
He looks at Martin and looks at Alissha, and he says, I wish somebody would ask me. And he follows Martin out. Martin, you are on your way out, and Adam's right behind you, when all of a sudden Zandro and the wizard appear running down the street towards you. And they run into you, and the wizard says, Hi, we got it working.
I don't even say anything. I just walk straight across to the temple.
I look at Adam and say, what happened?
The queen sacrificed herself for us. Well, Alissha brought the body back, and some force drove her to put the blood on the sightstone, but I feel like magic's back, but I think the wrong choice was made. And he starts walking slowly with his head down towards where he knows the teleporter is.
Before she leaves, she's going to bow her head and apologize again, kiss her forehead, and walk out.
After all this happens and you're standing there, Zandro, you see Alissha covered in blood. Some on her face, but really on her hands and her arms, walk out from the temple, or from the keep.
What happened?
It's a long story, but
I'll take the short story.
I don't know how Alissha got here, but when the city fell, all I remember is just being in, everything was white and we were floating. And death was there, and Rebecca chose to sacrifice herself to spare Adam and I, because she thought Adam would be the one that could get the city back up and help the most. And the reason I'm covered in blood is I had to take her blood and put it over the sightstone.
For what?
As sacrifice to get the sightstone working again.
Dumbfounded for a minute.
Apparently it worked. I don't question magic. I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, the teleporter is working again. And she's still in there?
She's at peace, resting up against the sightstone.
I just turn and walk in there.
As Zandro leaves, Alissha, you look around and you're all alone. You drop the spider dagger out of your sleeve where you tucked it when you saw Martin when you came out of the space. And using the black part of the inside of your cloak, you rub it free and slide it back into the scabbard.
Look up towards the heavens and say, I hope I made the right choice. I'm going to give it a second to kind of collect myself and then head up and try to catch up with them. Going towards the temple.
Zandro, you walk in and you see the scene. Blood down, blood over the sightstone, and the now lifeless body of Queen Rebecca leaning against the podium.
I just take a minute to take it in, and I just say out loud, why the queen? And turn and leave.
Martin, you enter into the temple of Jundar.
Jundar, a word.
Nothing happens, nothing responds, but as you look around, you can see that the temple is being put back together. It's not as destroyed as last time. You start walking around looking, and
I'm walking back and forth, kind of pacing. I wait a few moments, look up. Jundar, a word, if you please.
So I see you kind of like walk around, like pacing, like you said, and you ended up like behind the altar where like the priest would be, and you look up and you yell this. And as you look down, you see Alissha in the doorway of the temple.
Get out.
Fine. Alissha turns and goes, walks out and sits on the steps of the temple.
Martin, flustered, you turn around, and as you're looking over the stonework, it's amazing. And you just get the impression that the gods are done talking.
I want to try and activate the arm. I want to try and focus on what that felt like and try to duplicate it.
You picture Emoga before you, helpless. You feel almost a sense of peace. And as you do, you hear a hum and look over, and you have a yellow arm.
Arlen, will you speak to me?
You turn the arm over and you start getting a feeling. And from what you get, it's the same old cliche that you've read in many different books. I'm with you always.
You say I'm right there by the altar?
Yes.
I take the arm, I slam it against the altar, hard as I can.
You take the arm and you go to slam it against the altar. Right before it makes contact, it disappears.
Oh, that just pisses me off more. I'll bring my other arm around.
Okay, and you hit the big stone slab altar very hard, but it doesn't do anything to you and you don't do anything to it.
I walk out and I see her. I just look at her and I'm waiting for her to say something.
I'm not happy with her choice either, but she made it, and you know it's a choice that she would have wanted, to see her people live.
I don't even care about that. I need answers, not riddles.
Figured that was an answer. I didn't see that as a riddle.
I don't mean you. Where's Adam?
I think he went towards the portal.
Okay. I'll kind of just slowly start walking that way.
Okay, so as I come outside, I'm going to look to see if I see Adam.
I think you catch Adam. You were right behind. It wasn't that far. And as you call his name, he comes back and he's like, yeah, what can I do for you, Zandro?
Adam, are you planning to go back?
Yes.
Or are you staying here?
No, I can't stay here.
I think I'll need to talk. I'd appreciate it if you don't leave yet.
Okay. And as he says okay, you hear Martin. You think you hear Martin and Alissha a little bit. You see them talking across the way. You couldn't see Alissha originally because where she was sitting, a pillar kind of blocked her, but now they're walking out from the temple.
As I see them, I will call them over. We need to talk.
Adam, I have a couple questions.
Whatever I can do.
Yesterday, I came up here. I placed my hand on the sight crystal, and I tried to talk to you. Do you remember that at all?
I kind of. It's like a fading dream.
Well, I was given a vision, and I don't think I'm fully grasping what it means. I saw a deer running through the woods with a baby. The hunter shot the big deer, and then the baby ran away, and it kept repeating with the baby deer growing older, being shot, and then the baby growing older, and it just kept repeating over and over.
Was that it?
That's it.
Maybe it's trying to tell us that this has all happened before and it'll happen again.
Okay. Next question. The mother, are you able to talk to her? Do you know her thoughts? Anything?
I feel empty. No. Whatever
You
happened.
don't think she's with you anymore?
I know she's not. It feels way different now.
All right.
I'm sorry, Martin.
It's fine. It's not your fault.
He looks at the ground, almost defeated.
Look, we have a lot to do. I don't even know where to begin as far as Queen Rebecca. I'm going to go get her body.
What do you plan to do with it?
Well, we have to take it back to the city. We can't leave her here.
I'll look at Alissha and Adam, kind of questioning what their thoughts are.
I don't know what to do here. I don't want to leave her here, but I also don't want to just go down to the city and say, yeah, hey, your queen just died. She's up there somewhere. Go find her.
We're not doing that.
No, but I see where Zandro's going, but I wouldn't know how we could get her out of the city without anybody seeing.
Burial at sea?
Wait, what?
Again with the burial at sea?
We're sailors. Come on now.
Adam says,
That's what we do.
Wait. There's going to come a time when people have to know, and there'll be a time to mourn, and we will have to have a funeral. But we probably need to make a decision quickly about what we're going to do, because that Melinda, she's going to tell everybody the portal's working. I'm sure people know on the other end. I mean, I say we have less than maybe a minute before people make it here.
Try not to let anyone through. I'll be back. And I turn and walk back towards the keep. I get there. Are there like curtains, draperies, any kind of material like that?
Yes.
I'll rip some down, wrap her up, and throw her over my shoulder.
Okay. So Martin goes into the keep. The rest of you start seeing a few people coming through the streets, but they look like they're going to like different homes and stuff. And through the crowd, you see one white cloak, one of the Queen's Guard coming at you.
I'll start heading towards the guard.
As soon as you're close enough, he says, "Hail, Zandro, The queen is gone from the city. Do you know anything about this? Martin was wildly looking around and yelling out her name and telling us that she had disappeared. Nobody remembers her leaving the docks.
I was just checking over here. Can you come with me? And I'll kind of like appear to be in a rush.
He says, yeah, and he follows you.
We haven't checked this side of the city. We're looking all over for her.
He says, oh, okay, and he goes that way. And Martin, as you come out of the keep, you see Zandro running away with one of the queen's guards.
Okay, I'm going to yell out for him. Eric!
Zandro, he turns around as you're running, and he sees Martin with something over his shoulder, and he starts booking it.
I turn around and just kind of put my hands out like, what the fuck?
I am going to look right at Zandro and kind of just shrug my shoulders and shake my head.
He easily makes it over, and he goes, please, dear God, tell me what I'm thinking is not what is happening here.
Don't say anything. Don't react, but it is. I'll explain why, but the people don't need to know this yet.
The queen has a room in the keep. Follow me. And
Okay.
He starts moving through the keep in this back hallway, and he comes to a spot that looks like there's just a suit of armor in the hallway there, and he hits some blocks, and then he pulls on the candlestick, and a door opens up, and he pushes you through. Even if anybody's following, he'll close it right behind him. It's opened up into this room. It doesn't have any doors, but it is very finely covered. This is obviously a room for royalty. And there's a side room, and he says, the queen's guards stay there. The queen stays here. Please lay her in the bed and take that drape off of her.
I'll try to activate the arm again.
You reach way down, and you try to calm yourself to find that peace that you know will help. And the arm does come forth, but you feel like you're not going to be able to hold it for very long. It's hard to keep this feeling right now.
It's fine. All I use it for is so that I can cradle her and set her down gently.
Yeah, you get her out of the drapery as gently as possible. And as soon as that's done, your feelings overcome you and the arm disappears again. And are you going to tell me what that's all about?
The arm?
Yeah.
I barely know myself. It's something to do with my goddess. A gift, if you will, I guess. It's not really a high priority right now.
He puts an arm, or puts a hand on your shoulder, and he just gives you a nod. He kneels down near the bed, and he starts using his own rags and his own cloak to clean up the queen as best as possible, and lays her in the bed. And when he's done, it looks like she is just sleeping.
As he's doing this, I'm telling him what I know. I found her like this. According to Alissha, she sacrificed herself to return, I guess, the magic to Crystaldale. I don't know. I tried to resurrect. I tried to save her, but I couldn't. Tears of frustration and sadness are kind of starting to well up, and Martin's not looking too well right now.
He goes, tell me everything you know, Martin, because she didn't take her own life.
That's all I know. I got here, I saw her, Alissha, and Adam laying in the street. Alissha carried her to the keep. Something happened. I don't know what, but I felt the magic, I guess, return to Crystaldale.
Martin, her throat was slit.
I don't know. It was like that when I got here.
For now, she's at peace, and the only people that know how to get in here are the Queen's Guard and Lady Zariah.
Who takes over now?
It has never been my place to determine that. We need to tell Lady Zariah, but I don't know who takes over.
Where is Zariah?
Probably trying to calm the armies down by the port.
I am going to head over to Zandro and look at him and just say, what the fuck? We were in the clear.
I don't know what he's thinking. Hopefully his plan works.
I hope so, because we are fucked if it doesn't.
Well, I mean, the townspeople at this point don't need to know. It's not like there's not enough stuff going on. Now they need to know this.
Yeah.
I just kind of look around, make sure nobody's around us.
Yeah, the people, nobody's even came to the keep. People that are returning here seem to be going around the town looking for different things.
But you know Martin, he's always the one that likes to, fuck up a good plan.
Yeah, well, hopefully it works out.
I hope so.
But you do hear armor behind you, and Sir Eric comes out, and he seems to be heading towards the portal. He stops and says, Alissha, Martin told me you know what happened. Can you tell me?
What'd he tell you?
He starts looking very suspiciously at you and says, Alissha, what happened?
Looking around. Is this really the best place to talk about this? I don't think the townspeople need to know, and can we go somewhere where they won't overhear us?
We're not going anywhere, and they're not going to come near here. The people that are coming back here are going back to where they made their homes to check them out.
All I know is I was up here with Adam. We were trying to save the town, and when it crashed into the water, I just remember the three of us floating. And Rebecca came to me and said that the only way she thought that she could save the town was to sacrifice herself. She pulled out her dagger and sliced her throat and said, this is for my people. This will save everyone. And she slit her throat. And the next thing I know, I was being woken up by Martin.
He suspiciously looks at you and without saying a word, eyes you for a moment as he's walking away and heads towards the portal.
I just kind of shake my head. Like, he just can't believe it.
The Queen's Guard returns a while later. You're all asked to go back to the castle, that Zariah had some questions, and that Martin, you were told that you're relieved and the Queen's Guard will take over their own positions.
Before I go, I'll walk over to Queen Rebecca and kind of kneel down. I'm sorry. I'll take it from here. It'll be okay. And I get up and walk out.
I'm going to look at him and say, you just had to get a guard. You couldn't have,
This is the right way to do it.
No, the right way to be doing this would be to hide her and say that, I don't know, maybe Deimos took her and we need to go out and get Deimos.
I interrupt her. Why?
Why should the townspeople know?
They don't. Her guard does. Why is that such a problem?
Word travels fast.
The Queen's Guard can be trusted in this.
Hope so. Martin, I'm going to pull out the chessboard and give this to you. I'm going to pull out the chessboard and I'm going to hand it to you and go, you're going to need this. I feel like you really will.
Why?
Just take it. You'll know when the time comes.
Why? What does it do?
It'll allow you to play a game of chess against the Grim Reaper if you ever just die. And right now, I am really fearing for your life.
We're all in danger all the time. Why me in particular?
I feel that the Queen's Guard thinks you did this. And I think you need this now in case something were to happen.
Thank you, but no. I just keep it.
Just take it.
I don't want it.
Please?
No.
Please take this.
No.
The way she's talking, Martin, the fear, you remember that what she did for you when you were lost, searching you out, you feel that maybe by taking the chessboard, attuning to it like she's asking, that it'll calm her down and she'll be more focused for the days coming forward?
Fine. I take it. Thank you. You know I suck at chess, right?
I don't even know how to play.
All right, let's go.
You guys head down and you're walking through the city. You make it to the castle and you go to that war room. You're led to the war room. This time, Zariah's sitting there. You've seen her before. And she's looking at all of you and she goes, Rebecca's been my friend for longer than I can remember. I knew her before we called her queen. This loss is huge for the kingdom. What was your plan?
Plan for what?
I've studied for a very long time. Crystaldale is my domain. So what's the plan on hiding her? There's got to be some thought process from somebody here that makes some sense.
So that the people don't know? Like there isn't enough stuff going on already?
We're in the middle of a demon apocalypse. The last thing we need is the people to feel defeated that their queen is now gone.
Rebecca led from the front lines. In every battle that she's ever fought, she was the first one out there. She talks to all of the guardsmen, knows most of them by name, but I agree that somehow we're going to have to pull this off.
Who can we trust?
In this, only the Queen's Guard.
None of the wizards?
Just the Queen's Guards. I know me. I won't say a word. It depends on what's going on. The Queen's Guards, they're sworn to her in life and death to protect her or her. And she kind of mumbles a little bit, just body. But they won't say anything to anybody.
I kind of look around the room. Is there wine or something along those lines?
Yes.
Okay, I'll grab it, pour Zariah, myself, Alissha, and Zandro a glass. And then I'll pour a fifth glass and place it where Queen Rebecca normally sat. Take a few drinks from the glass.
I'll do the same.
Well, I really have no idea what to do as far as that.
We go forward. We don't have a choice. We need to rebuild, but right now we have to focus on destroying Deimos. You would probably be interested to know that we have a prisoner that you might want to talk to.
What?
She turned herself in. Claims to have met you guys, some time thing that happened in Rangio, but also told us that she was working for Deimos until recently.
Where is she?
She's held downstairs in the dungeons.
You should also know, and I kind of look at Alissha before I say this, and then back to Zariah. Emoga is dead. Zandro and I killed him.
That's fucking awesome.
Zariah, I take off my pack with the sword strapped to it, Emoga's sword, and I take out the rag that I had grabbed it with before, and I pull it off and say, this was his. I'm sure it's very powerful, but also probably very cursed. I don't know. Is there somewhere you can lock this away for the time being?
She looks it over, and you see her eyes flash red, like there's flames within her eye sockets. She smiles and reaches out for the sword.
Lean it forward so she can be the one to take this. I'm not going to put it in her hands.
And she grabs the sword. She says something, but it's very guttural and hard to understand. And the sword bursts into that necrotic black smoke. And she looks it over and she says, have you ever seen a flaming weapon before? It's kind of the same premise, except instead of fire, this great sword uses necrotic energy. She shakes it and says another word, and the necrotic energy goes away, but she goes, but it's not cursed.
And I stand up and
You head down into the dungeons. There's guards waiting for you, and they just say, oh, you know about the prisoner. The queen was waiting for you. And he unlocks a door and opens it up. And he leads you in, and there's a series of different locked doors. Whatever this is serious. And he walks into a room with a torch in his hand, and he walks around and lights the torch. Those with dark vision, Zandro, you can see in the middle of this room is a figure that is chained with her arms behind her back. Her shoulders and her arms are chained to her chest. She is sitting on the floor with her feet bound together and a metal framework mask with something over her mouth. As the flames are lit and this comes into view of everybody, you see the same wizard that helped you fight that demon who had the Chalice of Time in Rangio.
It's fine. If she's here to speak, she needs to speak.
He says, yeah, the queen kind of hinted towards this. Sorry about my hesitation, but I've seen what magic users can do. He walks over, unlocks the lock, but he doesn't remove it right away on the back of her helmet, puts the keys away, draws his sword.
Just a moment. I step up and I get real close to her. Emoga is dead. If you make any wrong movement, you die.
When you said Emoga is dead, it looked like joy in her eyes.
Okay, I take a step back, turn to the guard, just kind of nod my head.
And he goes, yeah, you guys want to ready some weapons?
I draw my bow.
I just pull out my trident and kind of lean against it.
I'm going to ready the daggers, but I'm going to have them turned and up into my sleeves.
Pull out one of those demon arrows, and I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to aim it right at her.
He looks at Zandro, looks down again, looks at Zandro. He moves to his left a little bit, and then he removes the lock and then drops the thing and holds his sword up. And she goes, that's better. Why would I give myself up to do something to you here and chained up? Are we dumb?
Shut up. Speak.
I want to kill Deimos.
Don't we all?
Why?
I don't think you understand his power, where he's been. I'm not 23 like I look. I'm over 10,000 years old. The last time he did this to this world, he dragged me back with him.
Last time?
Yeah, last time. The last time that Adora was broken from Bengen and brought to this realm. The last time he tried to take over the world.
And you want to stop this?
I need to stop this, but I can't do it alone.
Tell me what you know.
I know that he took me back. I know this is the second time he's doing it. I know that if he is here at the time that the connection happens between here and what I know to be the real world, he wins. If we can't stop him, he'll be an immortal god on a mortal plane. Not this fade in, fade out that the gods do from time to time, but this fully integrated version into our world.
How do you propose we stop him?
He's getting weaker. I've recently remembered a lot of things from the past. I don't serve Deimos. I serve Gomo. I always have. My family has for generations.
How did they stop him the first time?
I don't know. I was part of the battle we were fighting on, and then when he was ripped from this world, I was too close, and he ripped me with him. He's subverted me. He's tortured me. For over 10,000 years, I have been at his beck and call.
I don't care about your sob story. All I want to know is how you can help.
Martin and Zandro, man, you want to not believe her, but you are not detecting a hint of a lie coming from her at all. Alissha, fuck this bitch. She is whirling this story like nobody's business. Fine. I'm not just a powerful magic user. I am from a family that is the strongest necromancy powers that have ever lived.
And yet, somehow you got captured by Deimos. Yeah, that makes sense.
You ever try to fight a god before?
Yes.
Points over at Martin. He did. All he did was lose an arm.
I did. Shut up.
No, he didn't. He struggled against the restraints when he was being tortured, and very, very meticulously, and probably smartest thing I've ever seen before. Cut his arm off on purpose to get free.
Shut up.
So he got tortured for 6 months. He's not a magic user, and he came out missing an arm. How are you, the most powerful necromancer to have ever lived, trapped for 10,000 years?
I was subverted by a god. I don't know what else to tell you.
I get it. I have a question. You say you're a necromancer. Can you bring back the dead in their proper form?
How long have they been dead?
An hour, maybe.
If you can get me to them now, there's a chance. But Martin, it's hard to tell, but you do know that she's been honest up until at least this point.
I turned to the guard. She turned herself in. When?
A couple days ago?
Zandro?
A couple days ago? We're just finding out now?
Well, you guys weren't here. And then the first time we all saw you, you came running and screaming about demons coming coming at the castle. And she perks up a little bit and goes, What do you mean? There shouldn't have been an assault on Deimos. That's not the plan.
There wasn't. But we'll talk about that later. Zandro, what do you think? I'm sure you know what I'm thinking.
She's not a demon. And what do we got to lose?
A lot. I'm just saying, she turns herself in, all of a sudden there's a demon army heading around that was heading for Deimos. Sounds kind of like this was the plan. Lock her up, then she can attack from the inside.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'll turn to the Guardian. What is the magic that's binding her?
The headpiece is ruined. Zariah did that.
Zandro, again, you know what I'm thinking.
I say we try it.
Take the thing off of her.
Are you kidding?
No.
Listen, I have my orders straight from the Queen. She's not to be released.
Then walk away.
I
Look, you don't understand what's going on. I get that. I understand. Walk away.
He puts his head down and says, I can't, but there's another way.
What?
He turns around and says, knock me out.
I knock him out. And no hesitation.
Yeah, you come up one hand with your trident right into the base of the back of his skull, and boom, he goes down hard. You take the keys off of his belt and you start unlocking.
Does either of you have a cloak on?
She says, listen, my cloak, my robe, everything, it's in that chest in the corner. Can you just unlock me all the way?
No. Not yet. I see what you're thinking. I'm giving a little bit of trust. Don't push it.
I understand. But I have a black robe and a black cloak. Nothing else will hide me better. You can keep my staff and everything else that you want to, my whole pack.
Okay. I'll go over and grab the cloak.
You open up this chest, and you have never felt magical powers like this before.
May not have some traveler's clothes.
Oh, that's perfect. Throw that over.
Yeah, I'll take something, throw it over her head.
Not necessarily. What I'm trying to do is cover the bindings on like her arms and chest.
Okay, you use the traveling cloak. You use the traveling clothes, and that does work. Yeah, so you still have her bound. She doesn't quite look like it. It is. You gotta have to keep close to her. But she's like, "Can you at least bring my stuff? I might need it." There's a very big diamond in there, at least.
I'll grab the pack. I'm leaving the staff.
Please don't leave the staff.
Why?
Listen, you have something planned, and I don't know what it is, and that's fine. Don't tell me now because you don't trust me, but at least bring all my stuff in case I need it. She's letting you know that you're putting her into... you're putting her into a situation she knows nothing about. She's willing to help. She's not arguing. She's just asking you to bring it with.
Then I'll grab everything.
There's enough of a crowd, and you know Martin, luckily, has been with the queen and knows the back way out of the castle.
Yeah, I'm taking every back way possible.
Yep, you make it to the portal, you go through the portal, you make it all the way to the keep. And as you enter the keep, 2 of the Queen's Guard close the door as one of them steps forward and goes, "What is she doing out of her bindings?"
I need you to trust me. I know it's asking for a lot.
You're asking me to disobey the last order my queen gave me alive on this earth.
I am. I understand. If this goes bad, I will submit myself to whatever punishment you deem necessary. Stay with us. I would be glad for the help in case this does go bad. I don't think it will. If we have a chance to fix this right now, it's worth it.
And if it goes bad, we probably won't have to worry about it anyways.
He grabs 2 guardsmen and starts walking with you as a group. He opens up the passageway, and as you enter, she goes, "No."
Shut up. Not a word. I take the cloak off, shut the door, unlock everything. You know why you're here?
I need my diamond.
I give it to her.
She walks over, slowly kneels down next to Rebecca, and places her left hand on her head. If anybody was noticing, they would see a single tear coming from her eye. She whispers something to the queen that nobody can hear. As she holds up the diamond, she begins to chant. Different fey words emerge as different magics seem to burst from nowhere. The guards take a step back. No one knows what's going on. This is weird. The magic, everything moving around. She reaches up with the diamond a little bit more as the chanting continues. Her eyes now roll to the back of her head. Energies pouring forth as electricity through her eye and different black and smoky magics. She looks down, says the final word, and it looks like 20 years comes off of her life. As the diamond evaporates into the air, she tumbles to the ground, unable to move. There's a small count, a few seconds where nothing happens. Everyone looking around. Just then, you hear as the queen takes a breath. And we'll see you next time on the Bros and Dragons podcast.
Holy shit.
Maybe I didn't make the wrong choice after all.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Elmo the Usurper. If you guys want those aspiring DMs out there who don't seem to have the time to prep, or if you're a veteran DM and time's running a little bit short, or you just want to supplement your own games, go check out limitless-adventures.com. They take a lot of the prep work out of D&D, and it's a lot of good quality content. I'm using a little bit of it in my own game right now, and it's pretty interesting. Definitely go check them out.
You guys can check me out on about the only thing I really do nowadays. Otherwise, I think you guys should definitely keep listening to Dumbgeons and Dragons. We may be having a little surprise coming out soon, but not giving any spoilers out on that. You might have to listen to them to find out.
You can follow me on Twitter at BrosOldGuy. Hey, if you're looking for our shirts or dice bags, check out brosanddragons.com. You get the shirt and dice bag there. dice bag is awesome. The shirt's awesome too, but I personally got the dice bag, and it's freaking awesome.
As always, you can follow all of us on social media at Bros and Dragons, all one word. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at IamDMDoc. I also have an Instagram, not on there as much, just warning you, but I do get on there. And that's all I have to say about our little plugs there. Listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. Hey, listen to us multiple times. Help us get those numbers up. Head over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, and totally rip on us. These guys are used to it. I do it to them all the time. Also, go over and check out Destiny Street Podcast, where they learn you some Destiny. If you like the video game Destiny or Destiny 2, or absolutely hate it, and you can totally troll them when they put their episodes out, and hey, I suggest it 100%, go on over and check them out. Daniel Cozy, who works for Bros and Dragons, and interviewed me, Keith, and Tom on the last Out of Character. He's the one that put these, not the last Out of Character, wow, this is in the future, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. He produces this podcast, puts it out, and it is a good time. If you go to the store at brosanddragons.com, use the checkout code MEGAFAN for an extra 10% off of your entire purchase. Keep it nerdy and live your dreams.
Later.
For lack of a better term, god powers. And that's what completely ended up killing Emoga. Oh, also, Martin has a gold left arm. Sometimes.
Well, yellow, but yeah.
I thought it was gold. It's yellow, sure.
We're guys, it all looks the same. We see in primaries.
To one of our friends, it all looks the same.
It's all gray anyway.
I think it's kind of funny because I what's your speed, Zandro? Is it
Like
5? 35. I'm just a little bit faster than him, so I get there just like a half step ahead of him, and then I'm already heading like out just as he gets it.
I see what you're saying. You run into the thing, Zandro, you're like, holy shit, that human's fast, and you're running up there as fast as you can, and right when you're about to get into the doorway, you see Martin just take off past you again.
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it is.
Where are you running this time?
I have no idea.
You gonna go all Dora the Explorer?
I need the map.
Out of character, would Alissha know who would be like second in command? Like who would take over if
I'm just gonna be honest
Rebecca
with the way you play Alissha. No, she doesn't give a fuck.
I didn't think so.
All right. I mean, the answer is always yes, but
I'm worried that she's possessed.
why? Because I talked about the magic jar spell earlier.
No.
I'm going to start off by unmuting myself.
And almost being thrown under a giant fucking bus.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, well, fuck. Back in character, out of character, I don't know why the fuck you couldn't have just shut the hell up with it and done with our plan, but nope, whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just playing the guard.
I didn't say you.
Oh. Oh, you mean him? That's funny. That's going to be definitely out of character that you're going to have to make, because I think that y'all need to talk about that.
Fuck everybody up.
Zandro.
Zandro's go ahead and say this, John. The out of character for this episode, you and I both need to be on it.
Yeah, fuck. All right.
And Tom, why is it every time you come up with a genius plan to get your shit out of something, somebody around you fucks it up?
Right? Xandro's about had enough of that bullshit.
It was some
if it
bullshit.
had been a regular guard, I would have went along with it. But with it being a Queen's Guard, no.
Insight check.
Sure, go ahead. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too.
Yeah, give me a round, everybody.
Ooh. That's pretty good.
18.
That's not good.
21.
4.
This has been a Bros and Dragons production.